Yeah, the wind shifted about 2 hours earlier than forecast. We had 2 go-arounds. We're going to have to change runways. I need you to hold.
Yeah, we're just pushing past 45 right now. I haven't got back to Lubbock yet. We'll get it in there shortly. We should be coming out of 45.
All right, we're also getting pinched off on the coast. We're going into an internal stop.
Yeah, hey, I just got a call from United. They said that they're in 60-minute departure delays.
Fort Worth, we're going to take them south along through the southern part of the and Sector 97 is getting overloaded. We need to move those 4 at 70 blocks that Kansas has.
Yeah, we're just pushing past 45 right now. I haven't got back to Lubbock yet. We'll get it in there shortly.
The National Airspace System is a complex network of systems and aircraft. Things move quickly in the NAS. Real-time decision-making is dependent on your effective communication skills. The NTML is a single system for logging, automated coordination, and communication of information and initiatives. It enables all facilities, including the Air Traffic Control System Command Center, to share knowledge about conditions throughout the NAS. Data entries via the NTML are being used to make on-the-spot decisions that affect safety and efficiency across the entire system. However, the NTML's usefulness as a decision-making tool is only as good as the data that goes into it. Timely, accurate, and complete data is essential for all stakeholders. SWIM, or System-Wide Information Management, is the data-sharing backbone of the NAS. NTML entries are immediately captured by SWIM and shared with stakeholders, enabling them to make better informed decisions. The networked system provides real-time, accurate flight surveillance, weather, and aeronautical information. Users include the FAA, airlines, research institutions, and other stakeholders. When you submit a departure route closure on the Restrictions tab, the Command Center and industry partners use this data to make real-time decisions about how to appropriately handle the constraint. During severe weather, the Command Center relies on de-icing information submitted via the NTML to base traffic management strategies off of. Unavailable gates, surface gridlock, backed up taxiways can all result from de-icing, and strategies to ensure the airport is not overloaded must be enacted. Using the ICE tab in NTML allows for the appropriate dissemination of information to the Command Center and through external facing platforms such as SWIM. Time-based metering also needs to be captured in the Restrictions tab. As with route closures, this advises the Command Center and the airlines that TBM operations have been enacted. When entering a restriction due to severe weather, ensure the Severe Weather button is checked. This allows the severe weather specialist at the Command Center to receive the appropriate information and not implement TMIs that could contradict or adversely affect the original request. An FEA, or Flow Evaluation Area, must be attached to a restriction of 25 miles in trail or greater in order for it to be evaluated and approved by the Command Center. This allows all stakeholders, from the Command Center to airline SOCs, to be notified of the potential delay information and adjust their operational decisions. Certain entries are required by FAA Order 7210.3. They include traffic management initiatives, constraints that may impact the NAS, arrival, departure, and en route display status, icing, de-icing, anti-icing. The miscellaneous template is only used when no other template applies. NTML entries categorized only as miscellaneous are not distributed appropriately to the Command Center and other users. Some users will select volume as the causal factor when inputting a restriction and delay. However, volume should only be selected when the airport is in its optimum configuration and no other impacting condition exists. Whenever there is another factor limiting capacity, that causal factor should be selected in favor of volume. Ask yourself, what caused the volume? For example, if thunderstorms are causing the rerouting of traffic and increased volume that requires mitigation, the causal factor should be weather and not volume. This will provide a clearer picture of what is going on for other TMUs and stakeholders. The only time this causal factor should be used is when no other causal factor applies. This allows for appropriate binning of information and paints the most accurate picture of the events that are occurring. But when this causal factor must be used, remember to enter a description of the impacting condition into the free-form text area. If it is left blank, those reviewing the information do not know what is happening in the field facilities. If it is left blank, those reviewing the information do not know what is happening in the field facilities in real time and for future analysis. Shift summaries in the NTML provide a high-level review of the day's events, as well as an important tool in the development of future plans. The summarization includes all major events that occurred during a shift, including any delays and weather impacts that took place. Review the entire log for events that are worthy of calling attention to in post-event analysis before submitting your entry. A thorough summary results in more effective review of the previous day's events and provides an assessment of possible strategies to handle similar situations in the future. Up-to-date NAS data is more valuable than ever, used by all stakeholders and not just for next-day review. Immediate, actionable value depends on the timely, accurate, and complete input of data into the NTML. Your speed and attention to detail enhance the real-time safety and efficiency of the National Airspace System.